Welcome to Brawlhalla Underworld, a fan-made serial audio drama produced and directed by Baron Dipitous, inspired by the video game Brawlhalla by Blue Mammoth Games, as well as original setting and character concepts by Akiko-sama. Episode 4 Mispriced.
Volkov, allow us to introduce to thee Miss Sabika Price.
A delicious pleasure, I'm sure.
Miss Price has expressed an interest in enjoying more of thine abundant property. Perhaps thou couldst offer another one of thy delightful manor tours?
For someone of her standing, in the Tataia Empire, no less. I think not.
Thou darest refuse an opportunity to show off thy wealth to a newcomer?
You know very well why I do not make it a policy to reveal the layout of my establishment to unfamiliar faces.
Oh, well, that's not a problem at all. I was made to understand
Dear
that.
lady, please allow this indulgence just once. Volkov, under standard circumstances, if the request were given by anyone else...
Good sir, you press your advantage far too often for comfort. You, young lady, have the privilege of enjoying one of my rare manor tours, as your escort so graciously calls them. Follow me, if you please.
Would it not be preferable to have one of thy many servants lead us? We know thou art very busy. Perhaps we might even conduct the tour ourselves.
Absolutely not, on both accounts. Just because I listen to you does not mean I have to trust you. I will be the one to keep a close watch on you and your arm candy for the duration of the tour. Right this way, please.
He listens to you, Orion.
It appears that for all thy charm, the lady still has much to learn about the way things work around here.
I'm a fast learner.
New people do tend to learn quickly, one way or another.
If you will cease your idle chit-chat, I will begin by explaining some of the features of the foyer, starting with the front gate. Carved by
In my
hand
life
from
before
the wood of a
Valhalla,
giant
I
oak.
explored many temples and tombs
On the
in their
walls you will
ancient
see
and
various
contemporary
paintings
state.
of members of the house
I am
of
less
the
familiar with Gothic-style
Founded by
art and
Volkov,
architecture,
of course.
but Volkov was
Here you
clearly
will
an
find
expert on
artifacts
any
of
aspect of his
Volkov.
opulent
You
manner.
can probably find something from any civilization.
He explained each gargoyle by name, told the story of conquest
Yes,
between each suit of
seriously.
armor from a former foe,
Any civilization.
and summarized the origin of each painting and sculpture on display in the halls.
The big one is my father's. And here
He even showed us a few galleries filled with rusted relics, mechanical marvels, and additional appropriated art.
I do not care if it would be considered cruel.
I'll admit,
sadistic,
I was rather
or
fascinated.
a crime against humanity in the present day. They deserve to
I
be
wonder if
impaled.
Orion had seen this all before.
Anyways, here's our
If so,
museum,
why would he want me to
filled
see
with
it?
pieces we deemed interesting enough to have
Was
a
he
special
simply doing me
place.
a favor?
Don't touch anything.
Perhaps he
I
was
don't
trying
want
to
you
impress
ruin
me.
These pieces. Not to mention some of them are unstable. And now, to conclude the tour, I'll point out a few additional details in the main hallway that I saved for the return trip.
Surely this can't be all, dear gracious host.
Orion, you should know your place. Do not test me.
We are all too aware of our place here, Volkov. We also find it hard to believe that thou hast shown us every treasure in thy possession.
If you're referring to items that are highly classified and under my heaviest security measures, I'll have to disappoint. It would not be appropriate, anyhow, to invite the two of you into my chambers.
Ah, so that's where thou dost tuck away thy most precious valuables from prying eyes.
I have no qualms admitting it, for I have only the greatest confidence in the systems I have put in place there. You can only push your privilege so far, Orion.
Ah, Well, we suppose there is nothing for it. We hoped to see thy latest acquisitions.
If you like to court pain and suffering, old friend, then be my guest. That is, if you can navigate the labyrinthine pathways that make up the deepest recesses of my manor. That will be all, now. Enough time has been wasted with the likes of you, anyway. Here is the foyer. You can take yourself back to the festivities, I assume.
Correct assumptions, sir. We shall now escort you.
If you'll excuse me, I have other business to attend to. Miss Price, I hope you found this tour somewhat enlightening.
Oh, it was certainly a generous tour, sir. Thank you for showing me so much of your lovely home.
I wish I could say it was my pleasure, but please enjoy the remainder of your evening.
We shall, sir.
Well, so much for being a gracious host.
Volkov is smart and patient enough to keep his cards close to his chest, but his confidence may prove to be his downfall.
Sounds like you have something in mind to exploit that confidence.
That depends, dear lady.
Depends on what?
On how confident thou art.
I'm not sure what you're getting at. Wait, where are we going? Are we not going back to the party?
We are, Miss Price, but we hope the lady wouldn't mind a little detour.
Won't this get us in trouble?
Thou speakest as if thou thyself aren't one to flirt with danger.
You speak as if you know me.
We've known each other this long, haven't we? Trust us, this is something that will surely be of interest to thee. If it isn't, we give thee permission to slap us and leave us to seek a more enjoyable companion.
I suppose those are acceptable terms.
Thou doest us a great honor, Miss Price. Shall we proceed?
Lead the way, and I'll judge whether your detour was worth it. Orion led me by the arm farther down the main hallway, looking around the doors as if trying to spot the differences between them. Finally, he stopped in front of a door that seemed at first identical to all the other ones at the end of the hall.
Ah, there it is. That Batavian crest in the keystone position above the door.
Oh, yes, I see it now. I would expect a crest like that to be bigger.
Makes it easier to miss, perhaps. No matter. This is the door we need, and this is where we will ask one more favor of thee.
Do tell.
Enter the room. Use those investigating skills thou art acquainted with.
What do you want me to find?
Just look around. That's all.
This feels like a trap.
For us, perhaps, but not for thee. Trust us.
Give me one reason why I should.
The only reason is in that room.
Why aren't you coming in then?
The reason for that is also in that room.
Oh, what?
Sabika, please, before Volkov sends a servant. His speech will start soon.
Alright, fine. This had better be worth it. I'll admit I was a bit uncomfortable about the whole thing, but I decided to go along with it, if only to find out about this promised secret. The whole thing was only for one night. Anyways, even if Sabika were to get in trouble, Fatima certainly wouldn't. I opened the door and peeked in to find an ornate bedchamber. This must be Volkov's private quarters. Like the hallways outside, there was a red fabric and gold decoration everywhere. The elegant four-poster bed featured a large golden bat symbol on its headboard, an impressive shelf of books sat opposite to the bed. The elaborate mahogany nightstands had a gorgeous shine to them, emphasized by all the gold surrounding them. Still, Volkov's love for gargoyles even showed in his private chamber, sitting right in the middle of the room. Though it was completely still as a statue should, I felt like it was looking at me somehow. I stepped in the room and closed the door behind me. It seemed no one else was in the chamber, but I was quickly proven wrong.
State your purpose.
What? Who's there?
I am. State your purpose.
Oh, you're alive. I thought you were, well, a gargoyle.
I am a gargoyle. The confusion is normal. Even with a soul, I don't mind sitting still. Which is why Lord Volkov chose me to guard his valuables.
Are his wardrobes and pillows that valuable?
No, over there.
I I could not believe my eyes. Between all the splendor, the display case looked positively frugal, but its contents were no less impressive. Even at a quick glance, I recognized an aether flux generator, the Geminus Virens, and to my welcome surprise, the Scythe of Horus.
I am under strict orders to let no unauthorized guests enter these chambers and leave with their lives.
Then why let me in at all?
I cannot know if you are authorized until you tell me. You live only because I am expecting a second authorized guest.
A second? Who was the first?
Lord Vraxx. He came to make sure I do my job, and informed me someone else would be sent to retrieve the scythe.
Ah, so you're those security measures Volkov had such high confidence in.
I live only to serve him. Not once have I allowed a would-be thief to get past me. I am now beginning to suspect you are one. State your purpose now, or I will attack.
It was pretty obvious. If I didn't convince the gargoyles to let me leave with the scythe willingly, I likely wouldn't be leaving at all. My one opportunity was that Vraxx had promised to send someone to fetch the scythe, possibly to present it during the speech, of course. Isn't it obvious? I'm here for the scythe, under Lord Vraxx's direct orders.
Anyone could say that. Identify yourself.
Identify? I am Sabika Price, and as you can see by the shiny pin right here, I am very much part of the Zaktarian Empire. Now, if you don't want to hand over the scythe, perhaps I'd just go and tell Lord Vraxx that there would be nothing to present during Volkov's speech, because you... What's your name?
Onyx.
Because Onyx denied his direct orders. A shame! Volkov really praised your skills too. So by disobeying Vraxx, you are disobeying Volkov himself. I don't think he'd be happy, do you?
Very well. Take the scythe and nothing else.
That's what I thought. I'll just take it and be on
Though I
my...
wonder why it took you until now to mention all this. Most servants tell me why they're here when they first step into this room.
Oh, this is my first time here and I was just caught off guard how amazing the whole place is.
Volkov does have an eye for art and artifacts. Well met, Sabika Price.
He really does. Now, if you don't mind, I'm already running late. I could hardly believe my luck. The timing was suspiciously perfect, though I didn't worry about that at the time. I was just thrilled to be able to take the scythe without any trouble. I did give a courteous nod to Onyx, and went out of the room as quickly as I could, expecting to see Orion in the hallway. But he wasn't there. I was alone with the artifact, which meant I needed to get out of there quickly. I wish I would have been able to say goodbye to Orion to end off the night on a nice note, but the focus at the time was escape. I found the foyer quickly, and looking around the corner stairs, I noticed a crowd of people were being ushered into the ballroom, possibly to get ready for the speech Volkov was going to give. I spotted Lechenault, who was standing right by the valet door. We made eye contact, and I made a break for it down the stairs. I even slid down the railing. Talk about living life on the edge. As far as I can tell, no one spotted me during my escape. I did notice one of Volkov's servants running into the hallways, no doubt the one actually assigned to get the scythe. I hoped Onyx wouldn't be too rough with him. The look on Lechenault's eyes when he saw me with the scythe of Horus, that's the most emotive expression I've ever seen on the man's face. He quickly ushered the two of us into the limo, and Sam sped us out on the way out of that place. The relief I felt once I saw Volkov Manor behind us. Wow, I certainly did have the time of my life that night. Perhaps I should have put up a higher payment offer before accepting this job. No matter, I had the scythe of Horus, and the next day I would deliver it to Sergeant Sentinel to be delivered back into the Valhallan archives under tighter security. My well-deserved check would arrive in the next 3 to 8 days, and all would be right in Valhalla.
Delicious friends and beloved family, Lord Vraxx and I have seen fit to coordinate our efforts and combine our resources to ensure the acquisition and protection of a precious artifact from within the Valhallan archives itself. Even now, I have a servant on the way to fetch this artifact from the most secure location in my manor. The artifact has now become the property of the Zaktarian Empire, but circumstances have required the use of Batavian resources for its protection. And there is my servant's queue. You may come in and present the artifact.
Volkov,
Onyx, what is the meaning of this?
something is amiss. The scythe of Horus has been taken by your second guest.
What's going on, Volkov? Where is the site?
I'll handle this. Second guest? What are you on about? Who else could have entered that room tonight under your watch?
Forgive me, circumstances led me to assume.
Stop pontificating and tell us who took the site! Now!
Of course, sir. The intruder's name is Sabika Price.
That concludes the 4th episode of Brawlhalla Underworld, a fan-made serial audio drama produced and directed by Baron Dipitous. Inspired by the video game Brawlhalla by Blue Mammoth Games, as well as original setting and character concepts by Akiko-sama, which were used for this project with Akiko's consent. It starred Maryyah as Orion, Tilty as Volkov, Mirage BHH as Agent Mirage, Tesriel as Onyx, and Insanity is Hope as Vraxx. The script for this season was written by Baron Dipitous, with special thanks to Captain Moneybags and Pat Hyena for assistance with writing and characterizations, to Davon971 for providing story assistance and for his role as art lead, and to Stefanifro and darthMIMI for assistance with audio cleanup and editing. The artwork for this episode was a joint effort by Aster, Cizerna, CJ, Jayandnight, Maryyah, Pat Hyena, Kier, Tataia Furquim, and Tolsquish. The music playing during this episode's intro was The Twilight Grove VBI Discussion, arranged by Labruski. The music playing during these credits was composed by Cat Foodinator. For more information about material produced for this project, check out the project link in the description below. To conclude, please enjoy this teaser for the next episode.
You said you had a proposition?
Only if I can trust you to keep it between us.
Don't you?
Now's not the time to be cute with me.
It never is, Petra.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time in the Valhallan Underworld.